Hey, it's Dr. Myers. I hope you're doing great and enjoying the program. I wanted to explain about fermented foods. So I seem to feel differently than the vast majority of people out there regarding yeast and fermented foods. And so it's one of the biggest questions I always get whenever I'm writing a blog or talking about Candida is inevitably a bunch of people write in saying, why didn't she want you eating fermented foods? So let's think about it. Our gut is like a rainforest. It's a big jungle in there, and it's the survival of the fittest. And so when we have our good bacteria in there, we maybe have some bad bacteria, and then we have yeast, they're all kind of vying for food. And certainly yeast is feeding off of carbs and sugars and fermented foods. I mean, fermented food, you hear everything about it. Eat fermented foods, it helps build your good bacteria. And that is true. But fermented food also helps feed yeast. So I kind of like to think of it as a fish tank as well. So you got a bunch of different kind of fish and you're putting in food. Well, food is food, so they're in there to eat it. So I really recommend, and what I have found, again, I have worked with thousands of patients in my clinic, and what I have found in my clinic, what works for people is really to get rid of the Candida. And after you've gotten rid of the Candida, then you can add in those fermented foods to help restore the good balance. So what we're doing in our program is we're taking that caprylic acid and the candisol, and that's there to sort of kill off all the Candida. We're putting in the good probiotics, and then once you're done with the program, the 30-day program, and you feel like the yeast or Candida is gone, then feel free to add in some fermented foods. And again, as with anybody or anything, if you know what I say, your body knows better than any test, and you always know your body better than anybody else. So if you find when you add in fermented foods, it's not working for you, avoid them. Or it could be that you didn't get rid of the yeast and it's still there. If you find that you feel better when you've added in those fermented foods and your bowel function is working better, keep the fermented foods. So again, there's no right answer to things, but this is how I do it and what I have seen work with thousands of patients in my clinic. I wanted to give you the explanation because I know you have the question, because everybody does when I say no fermented foods while you're treating yeast. So hopefully you understand that a little better. And again, just as I always say, you know your body better than anybody else, and your body is going to tell you better than any test. So let's get rid of the yeast, hold on the fermented foods, and then at the end you can try them and see how they work for you. All right, until next time, again, I really appreciate you taking your health into your own hands. I'll see you later.